Hi, I'm Candace Hunter from The Practical Herbalist. Today we're talking a little bit about one of my favorite ways to get to know herbs and at the same time practice and play with blending your own herbal teas. Yes, you can blend your own herbal teas and you don't have to follow a recipe. I do have a recipe that actually gives you a really good basis for getting a nice clean flavor and lets you play with some of the other notes that you might add to your tea. It's also a really good healthful recipe. And that's the one where I call it my tasty, nutritious tea. I used to call it a building block tea because honestly, it's 3 building block style herbs. They're good, solid friends to have around. I recommend the first time you play with it, maybe try making the building block tea or the tasty herb tea and trying each of the 3 individually or getting to know them, get to know them a little bit before you use them as your basis. But, honestly, you could just jump in and then you get to play. So here's my tip.
Today we're going to work with what I used to call my building block tea, which is really a tasty, nutritive tea blend that you can modify really easily. One of the things I love about this tea blend is the nutritional value. The other thing I love is how easy it is to use it as a basic blend to step off from, especially when you're just learning how to work with herbs and blending your own teas. So we're going to begin with oat straw and oat tops. Oat tops offer a little bit more nutrition, but also some relaxing properties, even though they're dried and not milky oat tops, which are strongly nervine. I've still found them to be relaxing to the nervous system, and oat straw is really nutritive. Then the next thing we're going to add to it will be raspberry leaf. Oh, we'll put it into the blend. Let's get the blend started. So to build your blend, you just pour each amount in, and you'll notice that I'm using pretty much equal parts. You want to use equal parts roughly for this blend. If you have a little bit more or a little bit less of one, that's fine. Let's see. Set those aside. All right, the next one we're going to look at here is raspberry leaf. Raspberry leaf has an awful lot of nutritional value to it, a lot of minerals. It's also really good for your digestive system, and for women it's particularly helpful for relaxing the muscles around your uterus. So it's often recommended for during menstrual cramps and that sort of thing. But it also has that effect when you're having intestinal tract issues, so gripping essentially. Raspberry leaf is a good one for that. I've often used blackberry leaf as well, but for this blend we're going to work with raspberry leaf. And then normally I would put nettles in, but nettles is a very drying herb, and right now I've been thinking a lot about my area where I live may be particularly drying, but a lot of folks have a harder time with using a lot of nettles in their diet because nettles dries the system a lot. So instead, I've decided to substitute some marshmallow leaf right here. The marshmallow leaf has a lot of mucilaginous property, though not as much as the root, which is a good thing because in your tea, it's going to give your tea a little bit of body, which will be nice, but it'll also help with your digestive system. It'll help smooth things and nourish the epithelial layer of your digestive system through the mucosa. So it helps build your mucosa. So now we just take some time here to shake this up. And once we get this all shaken up and all of that, ready to go, we can keep this blend on the counter or in the cabinet or the pantry, whatever works best for you and your environment. I like to keep it into the tea cabinet. When my son was really young, I kept this blend around, and this was how we used it, which is a really great way to use it no matter what your age. You can choose whatever herbs you like. Today I've chosen some elderberries. Those are really good for the immune system. I've got some tulsi, which is not only good at quieting for the nervous system, but it's also microbial, so it helps to fight off colds and flus. That's what I'm trying to say. So these two can work in synergy with one another to help protect your system. Lychee berries, which are really quite tasty, offer some sweetness if you're interested in that, and they're very nutritive. And then chamomile is a good digestive support, and it's generally relaxing. It helps soothe the nervous system through the digestive tract. So these are my examples. You could use any set you want. I would cap these and keep these in the cabinet with my basic blend. And then when I feel like having a cup of tea, I would go in and I would get my tablespoon and I would take a generous tablespoon. Okay, that wasn't generous. There's a generous tablespoon of my tea. I might do 2 depending on the day and how much tea I thought I wanted to drink that day. Today we'll dig down. I didn't blend this as well as I might like, but get a little bit more. So we'll be a little bit generous. You can see all the little parts in there. And then the fun part is when you get to start adding the different flavors that you want. And this is where it gets fun, especially for kids, because they have the power to design their own teas. They're starting off with a good foundation of nutrition. And let's say let's say I'm a little kid and I know that my stomach hasn't been feeling great. I can go in and get myself a little bit of chamomile. And you can maybe put in 1 or 2 things of chamomile into your tea blend. And let's say I'm also a kid and I really want to add a little bit of elderberry because they taste good. And maybe I might add some of the lychee. You can pick a few of the fruits. And that might be my blend for today. Or maybe I decide I didn't want the lychee, so I'm going to take that back out. It's hard to take some of these out, but the lychee is one that's easy to take out. You could have a blend with just adding a couple herbs to it. You could add just 1 herb to it. One of the things I like about this for beginning working with blending teas is that you have a basic palette, as it were, with the building block tea or the nutritious tea. And you take that just straight up as it is a few times and see how it makes you feel, see what it tastes like, and then start adding 1 or 2 herbs a little at a time to see how it affects you. How does it taste good? Does it calm your nerves? What are the effects that you notice? And you can get to know other herbs in the context of a blend or a formula that way. So you can see how the different herbs that you might add to this blend will change how your effect of your tea is. So there you go. There's my tips for doing that. Use whatever herbs you like. There's a nice variety of herbs out there that blend really nicely with this blend.
All right, you saw how easy that was? When you put the tea together and you keep it, when my son was little, I used to keep it, the big jar in the center, and then I had little small jars around for him that he could play from. And I usually kept his number to play with to like 4 or 5 little canning jars with tasty other herbs in them. You could do it for yourself and you do as many as you like. I like keeping this tea around and I like playing with it. When I have new herbs that come in, sometimes I'll just throw them in there with that, just a little bit to try them out, because I'm used to that nutritious tea and I know that nutritious tea is offering a nice foundation for my system and for my body to make use of and absorb whatever it is that's in the new herbs. So enjoy playing with that. Consider a wide variety of herbs. Cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, fennel, chamomile, those are all really wonderful digestive herbs. All of those are safe for kids. You might consider rose hips, hibiscus, elderberry. Those are good nutritional ones, which are also safe for kids. If you're working on nervous system and you want to focus on adults, not kids, you might consider motherwort, agrimony, bacopa, skullcap. Those are all really potentially good ones. If you want to add kids into that, I might focus more in the direction of like valerian, passion flower, hops, lemon balm. Those are all have some sedative and mildly nerve-binding qualities, and they're all good for kids. Kids are totally fine there. And if you're looking at the immune system, echinacea, astragalus, elderberry, they're all good ones to have around. Echinacea is kind of more when you know colds and flus have been in your environment, you may have been exposed. That might be a good one. It'll stimulate your immune system a little bit to, be on it. Elderberry and astragalus help you build over the longer term. They help you build a longer, healthy immune system. So those are my suggestions. There are many more herbs to play with. Enjoy blending your own teas.
If you like this video, get more by joining the Herbal Nerd Society. You'll get custom articles and videos each month, plus you'll be supporting Practical Herbalist and Real Herbalism Radio. Click the join button at thepracticalherbalist.com to join the Herbal Nerd Society today.